Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman29, and there's this great debate going on between Yiyo 1228 and the user Scripture Alone. And gotta go with Scripture Alone on this one, basically because I tend, when it comes to the Tanakh and Old Testament literature, I side with Judaism. When it comes to quote-unquote New Testament, I tend to side with Christianity. Why is that? Because the Tanakh is Old Testament literature, and the New Testament is Christian literature. So the New Testament is the religion about Jesus. The Tanakh is the text and religion of Jesus. So when we're talking about different views, the views of the Heavenly Council, or the Elohim, has changed. And you can see the ideas of it and the theologies of it changing through society. And in the Stone's edition, Kamesh, you can look and see what that says. And they say that the Elohim is the us, meaning the angels, or the Heavenly Council. And what's interesting is we have in 1 Kings 22:19-21 an example of that. Here you have a group of deities getting together and deciding a course of action together. And this is 1 Kings 22:19-21, and he says, "Listen therefore to the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord seated on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven were standing by him, on his right and on his left. And the Lord said, Who will entice Ahab so that he will go up and fall in Ramoth Gilead? One said in this manner, another said in that manner. And a certain spirit came forth and stood before the Lord and said, I will entice him. And the Lord said to him, How?" So, there you have it. Also, too, in Psalms 82, here we have the translation of the first part of this, where God as El stands before the Heavenly Council. Mizmor, Esef, Elohim, Nitzvah, Ba'at al Berkav, Elohim, Yishpat. First it has the title of the psalm. Then it has the Elohim stands in the congregation of El. He judges in the midst of the Elohim. So there's just an example of two verses. At the beginning of Job, you see this council convening again, and this is the difference between Christian interpretations of Old Testament and Jewish. So I would expect nothing less than Yiyo 1228 to believe what he does, because of his interpretation of Old Testament literature in light of the quote-unquote New Testament, and Scripture Alone, who is just using the Tanakh in Jewish text and viewing it from that view. So two different views, but here we can see how different belief systems will put different views on the Scripture and how they read it based on their own theology. And the Apostle Paul did this with Greco-Roman ideas and metaphoric ideas on who he thought Christ was. So here you have in the text of Paul, Christology for the first time being built. And when he references scriptures, he's not talking about previous New Testament scriptures, because there was very few, if none at all. Paul's writings are very early, and a lot of times it's really hard to verify what Paul writes. There's probably only 7 letters that are absolutely Paul's, and then some of those others are questionable with inserts and interpolations and things like that. So it's a really sticky topic, but with the example of the Apostle Paul, you can see how Judaism or New Testament ideas is read back onto the Tanakh in kind of mystic ways. And here Yeo brings this out, where he talks about partial revelation, where the whole thing isn't completely revealed, but later on it will be. Mystics were very big on this, but they believe that it was higher spiritual qualities as far as Judaism. It was all there, but they were spiritually able to read it, and a lot of times you get these mystic kind of readings, even with groups like Kabbalah and stuff like that. However, the context of it changed when you interjected Jesus into it, and then you had Jesus mystics, and interpreting who they thought Jesus was metaphorically, and ideas about his resurrection. So all that comes into play when reading a text. So sometimes when Christians read texts like Isaiah 53, they will see Jesus behind every word in that suffering servant theme, whereas out of Judaism they will not. It's seen as Israel itself, or Jacob, metaphoric Jacob. So great conversation here, guys. I don't expect you to agree. You're probably from 2 different theological, but thanks for Scripture Alone bringing up the idea about the Heavenly Council and how it would not be the Trinity. A lot of people are unable to do that, but nice job. So take care, friends, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.